Hello and welcome. This is Let's Connect, and I'm Rishira Ganguly. Today we are in conversation with the director, writer, and also music composer and singer of one of the series streaming for Disney+Hotstar Quix, that is Teen Do Paanch. We have Amitabh S Verma and Shruti Anindita Vermaa. So thank you so much for joining me in this interview, and I hope you and your family are safe in this pandemic.
Thank you so much for having us here. We're just staying at home.
And thank you so much for having us here. Yes, it is the most difficult time that we've ever seen in our life. But yes, we are managing and trying to be safe, taking care of friends and family around us. That's what we are busy with.
That's good to hear. And it's very much needed right now, the support and love and care for our family members. And I think family has become a very important subject matter in this pandemic. And that is one of the things that your series also talks about, family. So firstly, I would like to say that the series seems to be your baby because you've contributed so much to Teen Do Paanch. So tell me how you came about conceptualizing this series.
I'll let Shruti answer that because the basic story was hers, and then we took off from there. So I think she could be talking about it first.
Basically, in fact, this is a story we had written about 12 years back. In fact, I generally pick up stories which are in and around me, and I actually inspire myself with real life stories. I also connect to them. So it becomes easier for me to knit it into a story for reading. So this was something which had happened somewhere in and around our family. Adoption is the, now that everyone is aware of it, adoption is the basic underline of the series that Teen Do Paanch is. Yeah. So something like this had happened in our family. Not exactly what you see in the series, but the basic germ. And this had affected me quite a bit. And I started writing this down. Amitabh and I created a story which was basically for a producer. And that didn't materialize. But this was one of those stories which we did not throw. You know, once something doesn't work out, you leave it behind and you move on. But this story we carried with us, for 12 years. And finally, when Amitabh decided to make a film, when a producer got in touch with him, Mehran and Fakru, and they said that, give us a story. Amitabh said, I have a story which Shruti had written. And I think it's a great story. And he narrated the story to them. And they said that, it's a great story. Obviously, they wanted to take that as the premise and knit it because, web series have a different requirement altogether. Yeah. But the basic premise remained the same. And then they worked on the screenplay and dialogues. And today what you see is Teen Do Paanch.
And it's a very beautiful story, I may say. I mean, whatever has been released right now, looking at that, the 2 episodes that released up till now. And the concept of the series, as you said, is rather different than what most films or series that we've seen revolves around family, families wanting kids have been like. So there was an elevator scene in episode 2 that released today. And in that, we see Shreyas Talpade's character Vishu is being questioned by his co-worker because he is adopting a kid. And adoption is quite a taboo subject in India. So do you think this series will kind of help people open up about and discuss parents who want to go through adoption?
I hope so, because now anyway the society, we are more open now. We have started talking about things which used to be taboo some time back, but now things are changing, and I really hope that a conversation starts, and I hope it starts because of this series. I hope. And it is a taboo, and as that character says, किसी और का बच्चा तू क्यों पालेगा? So that mental block is there. So, what our thing was that whatever questions other people have or people have, you have the characters ask those questions, and the idea was, because it is a very heavy theme. Adoption is a very emotional and a very serious kind of a theme. We were very sure that we can't make it a very serious film or series, because as it is, the theme is So the idea was to make it light and still all the questions that people might have in their minds. Let's raise those questions in a lighter way, and let's try and find the answers to them. That was the thing. And आगे भी later on also you will find things that are very relatable, but most of those things done in a very very light and slice of life हल्के फुल्के अंदाज में जो बोलते हैं वैसे ही किया गया है, so that देख के अच्छा भी लगे, you have a smile on your face. हमारा यही था कि it is a series that we hope the viewers will throughout the watching time they'll have a smile on their face. That was the thing that we were aspiring for, and I think it is coming true because lots of people have called me and said this specifically. We were just we realized by the time the episode ended, we realized we were smiling throughout the episode. So that was a big compliment, and that was what we had aspired for.
Right. And that is very true that adoption is not an easy subject to talk about in India, and putting a comedic lens on such a series kind of eases the matter and eases the way it is put on the conversation and discussion table. And I congratulate you on doing that, because it's a very important subject. Having kids has always been kind of the status quo for India. And this is a very, very important subject that India should talk about.
I would like to, I would like to mention, my co-writer Mehran. So he is also greatly responsible for what the series is right now. So उसका भी बहुत ज़्यादा contribution था. The way we wrote it together, me and Mehran. और he actually it was his idea कि सर इसको थोड़ा light रखते हैं, इसको heavy नहीं रखते हैं. I really liked his idea and we went about it. So I must say it is also because of Mehran that the series.
So what was the original idea then, Shruti ma'am? Did you always want to put it under a comedic lens then?
No, not really. The first story that we had written was a serious. It was written for a film, so it was like a serious 1.5 hour film that we had written. And my space was absolutely in the space of Masoom. But I realized, and actually that is what Amitabh said, that every time you see Masoom, there is a lump in your throat. We didn't want this to happen with this, So that is why the comic take to it, and also because for a subject like this, which is very heavy, and thankfully, because when this was made, it was made to be a film. But after that, the pandemic, everyone shifted to OTT, and for us, it's been a blessing in disguise. Both because right now, the state of mind that people are in, no one wants to watch a serious stuff. So that's a very big relief for us, because because of the humor, because of kids, and because it has 3 generations in the series. Also, there are 3 generations. There's a grandparent couple, and then there is the Shreyas and Vidita, and then there are 3 kids. So it's a great thing because 3 generations acting and 3 generations can watch it together. So for us, it's a great blessing in disguise.
Absolutely. I mean, right now it's only 2 episodes, so we don't know what's going to happen. But it has, I would like to say that it's sort of built this premise through which we can move forward, and we can and also there are like these short cliffhangers that are at the end of the episodes, like right now it's will Divya meet the parents or not, and will Divya and her brothers be accepted by Shreyas Talpade's character or not. And that is kind of it's a very interesting thing that within comedy you found that one small kind of twist to give audiences that sense of curiosity to move throughout the series. And I believe that Teen Do Paanch is your first web series as a director and writer. And why decide to step into the digital platform through a series and not as a film, like you said?
That was a call that Hotstar had taken because they had they had their research team and they said it will be better if we break it into a series and show it because we'll get it'll be better and people you'll get more viewers on that and we trusted Hotstar because as far as marketing and these things are concerned they know more than us and also because of this is not a normal time it's last like 1.5 years it's been very difficult time and उनका ये कहना था कि फिल्म तो तुरंत एक बार में खत्म हो जाएगी let's break it so that people are hooked for at least 10 days and they wait and then थोड़ा word of mouth होता है people will come and they can listen to it and you can watch it so it was their decision and I am now realizing it was a good decision to break it into a series and because so many people are हमारे Facebook पे भी they are writing and everyone is curious like the first question is answered why 3 सेकंड एपिसोड में वो पहला सवाल उसका जवाब आ गया कि ठीक है वो दिव्या के ही भाई है इसीलिए वो तीनों साथ तो आई रिमेंबर आफ्टर फर्स्ट एपिसोड आई वाज टॉकिंग टू अनदर जर्नलिस्ट एंड ही वाज आस्किंग मी व्हाई 3 हाउ कम देयर आर 3 किड्स सो आई सेड यू हैव टू वेट एंड ऑल तो पहला क्वेश्चन का जवाब हो गया है कि व्हाई 3 बिकॉज़ दे आर ट्रिपलेट है इसीलिए ऐसे ही धीरे धीरे करके you'll get answers to many questions that people might be having in their
I mean that kind of gets my gray cells also rolling because I'm like okay something's afoot, something's going to happen then and I can't wait to watch the series more. What I want to ask because the casting is brilliant. I mean Shreya Talpade, Vidita Bag are phenomenal in their characters. So what was the casting process like for Teen Do Paanch? Because Shruti ma'am, you must have visualized your characters to be in some way. And then Amitabh sir, you kind of gave that character a form and a personality and kind of, brought it out on screen. So what was the casting process like and how did you kind of fit the puzzle and make the whole picture?
The basic, line was that we would want to have good actors to begin with. If you have good actors, so director का काम थोड़ा कम हो जाता है. It becomes easy, Also, every actor they have their own interpretation of the role. You give them the scene, and they have their own interpretation. So you get so much from the actors which you might not have thought. तो हमारा पहला वो था कि we really need to have all good actors. So apart from Shreyas, of course, he's a brilliant actor and he's a great, very nice person. He was very, very helpful and cooperative. So was Vidita. But उनके अलावा भी जो as we go forward, we have Shiba Chadda, again very good actress. Akhilen Mishra, Brajendra Kala, Lovely, Gurpal, Akashdeep Arora, Shantanu. Akash and Shantanu, they are very big in the digital space. The youngsters, they really, they have a huge fan following. And even Akash's role, it was very important. Shreyas' younger brother. So, हमारा पहला वही था कि we have to have good actors. So, thankfully, we could get Shiba and Akhilen Mishra and Vijay. All of them are extremely busy actors, by the way. All of them are very, very busy. But I think they must have liked the script so much that they made time, and especially Brajendra Kala, we had to postpone a couple of days of shoot because Brajendra Bhai was busy with Zero, Shah Rukh Khan Zero, he was there, and he also so all of them are very busy. Akash and Shantanu, they are very busy because they are doing so many web series. But everyone they wanted to be a part of this series, and I am very lucky that I had such good actors.
I will just add here, Amitabh is a very modest human being. So he will not say that this himself. But in terms of casting, we have, like, for example, we have Akhilen ji who is going to come in the future episode. So Akhilen ji said that, Amitabh bhai, you're making a film and I don't even want to know the role. I am doing your film. Yeah. So that is how Akhilen ji. So he didn't know. He didn't know when he came to Delhi for the shoot. It is then that he got to know that this is the role he's playing. The same happened with Gurpal. Gurpal is from FTI. Gurpal is the guy who plays the gynecologist. And Gurpal is Amitabh's senior from FTI. Gurpal said the same thing, that, your film, give me whatever role. There's this guy called Vijay Vikram Singh. Yeah, he is basically the voice of Big Boss. And Vijay before this had never acted. But for the role that we were talking about, he looked perfect to me. And I told him, I said, Vijay, I think you should act in this film of ours. He said, okay. Next day he was in Delhi. So that is how people have come in. Loveleen Mishra, Loveleen and her husband are family friends. And Amitabh called her up and he said, there's this film that I'm making. It's a small film. She said, okay, mujhe kya karna hai, bata do. So that is how people have, if you see the cast for a small film that we were making, it is now a huge web series, but it was a small film. And every actor who came in because of the conviction he had with the director, and that is his earning, because it's a goodwill that gave him these characters.
Of course. And I mean, who wouldn't want to work with Amitabh sir? I mean, his career, I mean, speaks for itself. So I don't need to say anything. But Shruti ma'am, did you actually visualize your characters in the cast? And like you said, that you wanted him to play the character, and then he said that yes, I will come and play the character in Delhi. So when the whole cast was complete, could you actually see your characters in them?
Yeah, absolutely. They were, I think, they were just right. The casting was just right. The best part about this series is, as you move on, you will realize that, even the three kids, there is no acting. They are just as normal as anybody else. And that is because the casting was right. So I really think, and Shreyas, I have always loved his character. Brita, I had not even watched Babu Mashai, Banduk Baz before that. But Brita was such a pleasure to watch. And the rest of the characters, everyone, in fact, Akash Deep Arora, every time he comes on screen, you have a smile on your face, so he plays like a actual brother-in-law, you start connecting with him as your own brother-in-law. So that's how people have played the character.
Yes, and it's very real. And I think you not only them, but your writing also brings that realness alive, and people can actually connect to the characters, and as you said, can actually see themselves in the characters, or the family members that they love in the characters that are in the series. And I wanted to ask, the title track of Teen Do Paanch, it somehow takes me to this world of Hum Paanch and Office. So what was your intention when composing the track, Amitabh sir? Because I believe that the opening number kind of sets the tone for the series. So what was your ideation behind composing the title track?
It was, because the mood of the whole series, the film, now it is a series, but the whole mood of the film was very light and happy. It was happy. So we had to have those elements. And Teen Do Paanch, the title track, is composed by a very young musician. He's son of a very close friend of mine. His father is also a musician. His name is Bapi Bhattacharya. But the composer of the track is Adrijo. He's a very young guy. He must be around, around 17, 18 years old. And he's a fabulous flamenco guitar player. He must be one of the best flamenco guitar players in India. He's very good. So he composed the song, and if you see the lyrics, it is again very funny and very goofy kind of lyrics.
Yes.
And when the song was made, I just thought of I said, oh, I wish Kishore Kumar was around. He would have really done justice to this song. And unfortunately, we don't have Kishore Kumar, so we said, why? Then the second best is Amit Kumar. We must go to Amit Kumar. And we went to Amit Kumar. He was very happy. He was very happy with the song. And we just told him, Dada, you have to just think of your dad while singing the song. And and he's done full justice to the song. We were so happy after the recording. And for me also, it is a news maker, because Amit Kumar has sung a song for a series after a long time. He's busy with his shows and everything. He does radio, he does TV and all that. But he was not singing for a long time. So I was very happy that I could get Amit Kumar to sing this title track. So everything, put together, and it's come out beautiful.
Yes, and I must say that the title track, when it started playing, I was like, okay, now I'm set for this series, because it's such a good title track that you actually want to sit and watch the series, because you know for sure that it's going to be a funny, feel good kind of a series, which
feel good is the word. Feel good is the word.
Yeah.
That is feel good is.
And it promises that, and I think it delivers on that as well, because you actually don't feel any stress when watching the episodes, even if it's for 12 minutes or 9 minutes. It actually kind of relieves you, and for that few minutes, you're over your work, you're over whatever you're thinking of, and you just want to watch the series. And that is what the title track, I think it delivered that for me. And from Teen Do Paanch, Amitabh, so your short films, Boli, Bappa Moria, and Gurez are already winning hearts in a lot of film festivals. And I congratulate you on that. So what are your future projects, and will we see you directing a full feature film, and will Shruti ma'am be the the brain behind the film?
Yeah, we are already planning a couple of projects. Shruti is going to be directing a film very soon. Yeah, and that is it's a feature. We are writing it right now. I am also going to be directing a film very soon. The writing is done for that, and we are in the process of casting for that film. Or Shruti will tell you about other projects of ours.
Yes. So basically, we have Amitabh and I. We run a production house, and ever since we started, so basically, Amitabh is a trained editor from FTI. He passed out as an editing graduate, and then he started doing everything else but editing. So he's a very, very known lyricist. He's an amazing singer. He's obviously directing. And I actually came from a corporate background wherein I was working with Endemol. I was taking care of their new content, and I was with Applause Entertainment before that. So that's been my background. So when we set up our company, we knew that we didn't want to get into the rat race, because everyone was doing the same content. We didn't want to go there. And we both had a huge television background, right from all the big shows that Amitabh has written to all the big shows that I've directed. We didn't want to get into that same line again. So that is precisely why we picked up a different route. The type of stuff we do are very unusual. And a lot of our work is actually connected to a lot of social campaigns that we do. So if you just spoke about Bhor. So Bhor is a film that talks about sexual abuse. It addresses sexual abuse. Bholi, our second film, is about child trafficking, the problem of child trafficking. Bappa Moria is about environment. Our next film, which is again doing the festival round and should release soon, is Kheer Sevai. So these are all films that we do. We worked through the year, and then we used our hard-earned money to make a film which we are very confident about, so that we don't have to go to anybody for funds, and we don't need to convince anybody. So that's one parallel stuff that we are doing. Besides that Amitabh is writing 2 films and a series. And then he's writing my film, which, if everything was fine, we would be shooting in July. But now, but now we are waiting till everything is fine, because that's a film that's all set to roll. We have some bit of our casting in place. The rest of the casting is happening. Amitabh is already at already creating the music for that. So that's our next. And Amitabh's script is ready. So we are now in the process of casting. So that there's a lot of things that we are doing. We've just created an international series, which is basically, it's a travel log, which will travel the world, with 2 kids. Yeah. And these 2 kids are actually our kids. So they've already traveled the Northeast. 8 states have already been shot and covered. So we are going to launch that into a series very soon. So
my God.
I think,
wow.
Yes. So that's right now on the platter, and many other things that we've planned.
I am very excited for whatever you put out, because right now, everything that you're pitching to me, I'm like, I'm gonna watch. I'm pinning this down. And thank you so much for joining me in this interview. I just want to say that this interview has been so good. I loved your answers. I loved having this conversation with you. And you're very right when you say that you don't bow down to commercialism and commercial cinema. You kind of take your own route. And not only Teen Do Paanch, but your other works have also reflected that. And it is an absolute pleasure having spoken to you, having had this interview, because I have learned a lot about the series and about you a little bit as people. So thank you so much for this interview. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care.
I'll take your leave. Bye.